When the winds of change swept across the savannah, a legendary challenge was about to unfold. It was a day like any other in the kingdom of King Fom, until a small, unassuming rabbit named Rafiki dared to challenge the mighty lion's reign. As the sun dipped into the horizon and painted the sky with hues of crimson and gold, a brave rabbit and a proud lion clashed in a battle of wits, strength, and heart. The African savanna stretched endlessly, dotted with tall grasses, ancient trees, and rivers that wound through the land. The sun hung high in the sky, casting its warm light over everything below. All around, animals roamed freely, except under the watchful eye of King Fom, the lion. He was more than just a ruler, he was a legend. With his golden mane that shimmered in the sunlight and his deep, echoing roar, he commanded both respect and fear. King Fom ruled over the kingdom with an iron paw. His power was unmatched, and his reign stretched over the savannah without question. He considered himself the strongest, the fastest, and the wisest of all creatures. No one dared defy him. His pride grew daily, and he began to boast openly of his supremacy, telling anyone who would listen that no one could rival him. But in the far corner of the kingdom, beyond the great watering hole and the bustling savannah, lived a humble rabbit named Rafiki. Rafiki was small, swift, and far from intimidating. However, he was known far and wide for his wisdom. Unlike Mfom, Rafiki did not believe in the power of force alone. He believed that true strength came from the mind, from insight, and from the ability to listen and understand. One fateful afternoon, as the animals gathered at the great watering hole to drink, King Fom called them to attention. His voice, deep and commanding, boomed across the land, announcing that he was growing tired of the constant whispers among the animals. "I am the king of all creatures. I am the strongest and the wisest of them all," Mfom roared, his eyes scanning the gathering. "No one is brave enough to challenge me. But I will not have my kingdom ruled by fear. I will offer a chance for someone to challenge me, not in strength, but in wisdom. I will entertain a contest of both wit and strength, and if anyone can best me, they shall be the ruler in my place." The animals were silent. No one dared to speak. Mfom had no equal. Then, from the back of the crowd, a small voice rose, soft, yet steady. "I will accept your challenge, mighty King Fom," Rafiki said. A hushed gasp rippled through the animals. A rabbit, challenging the lion. The idea was preposterous. Mfom's laughter echoed across the savannah as he turned to face Rafiki. "A rabbit?" Mfom sneered, his mane bristling. "Are you mocking me, small one? You would challenge me, the king of the savannah? Very well, let us see if you can best me." The animals looked on in confusion and curiosity, unsure of what to expect. Rafiki did not flinch, his eyes calm and filled with resolve. "I do not challenge you for your throne, Mfom," Rafiki said quietly. "I challenge you to show that true strength does not lie in might alone, but in the power of wisdom." The contest was to be divided into 3 rounds: strength, speed, and intellect. The first round would test physical power. The second round would test swiftness. The final round would challenge the mind and heart. The animals gathered at the Great Boulders, a collection of towering rocks in the savannah, for the first round. King Fom stood tall and mighty, his muscles rippling in the sun. Rafiki, in contrast, appeared almost comically small in comparison. Mfom grinned and pointed to a massive boulder, easily twice the size of Rafiki. "Lift this stone, if you can," the lion growled. "Only then can we see if you are worthy." The rabbit did not move at once. Instead, Rafiki surveyed the boulder with a thoughtful gaze. The lion, growing impatient, watched closely. The other animals looked on, waiting to see what the rabbit would do. Finally, Rafiki stepped forward, but instead of attempting to lift the massive stone, he began arranging smaller rocks around it, building a kind of ramp. His movements were careful and deliberate. As he walked, the other animals murmured in confusion. "What is he doing?" they whispered. After a few moments, Rafiki stood back, admiring his work. He had built a path of smaller stones that led up to the top of the great boulder. With a gentle push, he rolled the boulder along the path, easily guiding it with the stones he had placed. "There is no need to struggle against the boulder," Rafiki said with a small smile. "If you can see the path, the obstacle is no longer an obstacle, but part of the journey." King Form's pride was wounded. The other animals, impressed, murmured amongst themselves. The lion's claws dug into the earth, but he said nothing. Rafiki had done what no one expected. He had outwitted the king, not through force, but through strategy. The second round of the challenge was set on the open plains, where speed was the ultimate test. Mfom, confident in his swiftness, paced back and forth, his muscles twitching with excitement. The race was to be straightforward. Whoever reached the great baobab tree on the horizon first would win. As Mfom readied himself, he looked at Rafiki. The lion was sure that this round would be easy, for no creature could outrun him. With a roar, he lunged forward, his legs stretching with each powerful stride. Rafiki, however, stood still for a moment, studying the terrain. He observed the direction of the wind, the uneven ground, and the slight curve of the path ahead. While Mfom raced ahead with raw power, Rafiki took a different approach. Instead of charging directly ahead, he darted from tree to tree, finding shortcuts and hidden paths. As Mfom neared the halfway point, a gust of wind blew the dust into his eyes. He faltered for just a moment, not enough to slow him down greatly, but it was enough for Rafiki to gain ground. The rabbit zipped through the underbrush, avoiding the thorny bushes that Mfom had to fight through. By the time Mfom reached the tree, panting heavily and sweating from the effort, Rafiki was already there, sitting quietly under its shade. "You may be fast, Mfom," Rafiki said, smiling, "but sometimes speed is not just about how fast you run, it's about understanding the path." The lion, frustrated but impressed, could not deny the rabbit's wisdom. He had been outpaced, not by sheer speed, but by clever planning. Now, the final test loomed, the battle of wits. The animals gathered in a circle under the setting sun, their anticipation palpable. King Form and Rafiki sat across from each other, their eyes locked in a silent challenge. King Form, still brimming with pride but now growing weary, spoke first. His voice was deep and measured. "Rafiki, you have bested me in strength and speed. But now, let us see if you can match me in intellect. Answer me this, Rabbit, what is the greatest power in the world, the one that can build empires, but also destroy them?" Rafiki closed his eyes for a moment, reflecting on the question. Then, he answered calmly, "The greatest power in the world is fear. Fear can build empires, for it forces creatures to submit. But it can also destroy them, for it drives people to rebel. Fear can unite or tear apart, it depends on how it is wielded." The lion was taken aback by the answer. It was not the response he had expected. Fear. Could it be that such a powerful force lay at the root of everything he had done as a ruler? And now, Mfum, Rafiki continued, it is your turn to answer. What is the true measure of a king? King Mfum's confidence faltered. He had never considered such a question before. He thought long and hard, then replied, a king rules through strength. Rafiki nodded thoughtfully, his eyes kind. A king rules with strength, yes. But a king must also rule with wisdom, with humility, and with the understanding of his people. Strength alone cannot maintain peace. A wise ruler leads with both power and heart. As the contest ended, the animals waited in silence. Rafiki had won, not through strength, not through speed, but through the power of his mind. However, the real twist came not in the contest itself, but in what followed. That night, Mfum lay alone under the vast sky. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it the quiet hum of the savannah. The lion thought about Rafiki's words, about fear, strength, and wisdom. For the first time, he questioned his own rule. Had he been a true king, or had he only ruled through fear and pride? In the quiet of the night, Mfum realized something profound. True kingship was not about dominating others. It was about understanding them, leading with compassion, and having the wisdom to know when to be gentle and when to be strong. The next day, King Mfum stood before the animals, his pride humbled but his spirit stronger than ever. I have learned much from this contest, Mfum said, his voice softer than before. I may be strong, but strength alone does not make a king. I now understand that true strength lies not in power, but in wisdom, humility, and love for one's kingdom. And so, from that day on, Mfum ruled with a new heart. He and Rafiki became close allies, working together to ensure that their kingdom thrived. The lion had learned that to be a true king, one must lead not just with power, but with the wisdom of the heart. The animals, seeing the change in their leader, no longer feared him. Instead, they admired him, truly admired him, for the first time. And under their wise and humble leadership, peace reigned across the savannah. The story of Rafiki and King Mfum teaches us that true strength lies not in physical power, but in wisdom, strategy, and creativity. It reminds us that pride and arrogance can lead to our downfall, while humility and a willingness to learn are essential for growth and greatness. We learn that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face our fears and stand up for what is right. We see that true leadership is about serving others, not just oneself, and that intelligence, creativity, and resourcefulness can help us overcome even the most daunting obstacles. Ultimately, the story shows us that the power of friendship and alliance can achieve great things, and that even the most unlikely of friends can come together and make a difference. By embracing these lessons, we can become wiser, more compassionate, and more effective leaders in our own lives. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed and learned from the video. We would love to hear from you. Your feedback means a lot to us. Want to be the first to know when new videos drop? Subscribe now and hit that notification bell to stay updated. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and family. Until we come your way again, wishing you a day as bright as your smile. Have an amazing day.